Hey, welcome back to my channel, where creative, practical, and meaningful ways of using technology and technology-based platforms in education are discussed. This video is the first of a series, where I will be exploring the Unity game design engine and its implications for narrative writing. Now, the Unity game design engine is, as the name implies, a program that affords users the ability to create their own video games. And being that video games tend to be narrative driven, especially in the modern era, the creation of a video game is an ideal project option through which students can be afforded an authentic application of narrative writing skills. These two in particular. Let's begin with the first one, engaging and orienting the reader, which involves establishing the plot, setting, atmosphere, etc. Obviously, students would have to have the story outlined before creating their video game. The outline would be more detailed than this, but this is just a sample. But if they were fashioning a dystopian universe, and this is the idea they had in mind, they would be able to convey this flexibly and dynamically using the features of the Unity game design engine. Here's how we would do that. The first thing we want to do is open up Unity, name our project, and hit Create. Now, all you see is a grid with an X, Y, and Z axis and a camera floating around. We'll get to that in the next video, but right now we want to focus on creating the setting for our story. So we're going to need a floor of sorts, and we can do that by going to game object, selecting 3D object, and then selecting the cube. Now you have this cube in the middle of this grid at 0, 0, 0 on the X, Y, and Z axis. Now we can change the size of the cube by changing the values regarding the amount of space the cube takes up on the X, Y, and Z axis next to where it says scale. Now because this cube is supposed to act as the floor, we want to keep the value low on the Y axis because we don't want it taking up much space going up or down. So we'll keep that value at 1. And then we could change the Z to 100, and now we have our floor. Note that by holding Alt and then left clicking on the mouse pad and dragging, you could look around the 3D plane. And we notice that it's just that, plane. So now we want to go to the asset store to find things that would be appropriate to the story, which we will be able to use to populate our newly created surface with. Some of these assets are available for purchase, but there are many great assets that you can download for free, so we are going to select that option under pricing. And we're going to check out the medieval buildings, since that would seem appropriate to a story featuring dwarves. So let's download that. And it comes with all this stuff. You can pick and choose what you want to download by checking and unchecking, but we'll just download all of them for now. And this takes a while. But when we're done, we can now access everything we downloaded under Assets. So let's go back to our scene by clicking on Scene from the Asset Store. Then let's go to Materials under Assets, and then drag one of these materials to our floor. Now let's click on this to drag some foliage into our scene, something to create a serene atmosphere as this dystopian story begins with a peaceful society, and we are orienting the audience by establishing that fact. And once we have our tree in there, we can actually adjust its size by using this tool. Then clicking on one of these ends on the X, Y, or Z axis and dragging. And this tool can be used to drag the object to a desired point along the X, Y, or Z axis. Then we could go to prefabs to select a house to drag into our scene, one that would contribute to orienting the audience by establishing the serene atmosphere before it becomes a dystopia. Of course, this is only the first phase of this project. The others will require other multimedia components as well as standard writing skills that include use of narrative style techniques, all of which will collectively allow students to apply language arts skills to an authentic context, one outside of writing just for the sake of writing. More to come on that in the next video.